Good evening, and welcome to another scene in the living world of darkness, rage across New York. It is a very cold evening, and this is Christmas Eve. And on this night, this very silent night, a blizzard has descended upon New York City, almost white out. It's cold, it's windy, there is heavy snowfall. It's already accumulated about a foot on the ground. And we find ourselves outside of the residence of one Zelda Korikova, deed named Storm Eye. What's your place look like, Zelda? What's going on here?
We're outside of it.
Yeah, what does the viewer see looking at your
Mm,
place?
um, I would say it's probably some kind of maybe duplex or something like that, but kind of connected. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of places in New York just seem to be kind of like squashed and narrow,
Mm-hmm.
um, and multi-leveled. So it's probably something like that. No real backyard. Probably definitely has like some kind of fire escape that just zigzags down the back of it, like some kind of spine. Um, it's not gated or anything. Um, uh, no kind of,
Basically, like
warning.
right on the street, like the steps
Yeah.
leading right to the sidewalk.
Basically. Um, and it doesn't look shoddy or anything. It just looks like like a normal, like middle income family kind of home.
So, what's Zelda doing this Christmas Eve?
Mm, well, she got a new job now, so she probably just wrapped up business with that. Since it is Christmas Eve, she probably stopped and got a couple gifts for her kinfolk.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, try to bring the Christmas spirit and all that shit. Um, she probably picked up some kind of Santa hat, you know, and kind of cocked it to the side because she has swag. Um, Other than that, she's probably just kind of bundled up. Like, I mean, Zelda's used to the cold. She's from Russia, Ukraine, so um, cold really doesn't bother her that much. Doesn't mean she's not wrapped up, tight, or anything. But she doesn't really complain. She kind of just deals with it. Uh, so she would probably take the subway home as much as she can, maybe even a train car, and then probably walk the rest of the way.
That's nice.
Idyllic.
So, in her residence, what's going on in there?
She lives with her kinfolk, where they kind of live together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everybody kind of has their own room. Luckily, they have probably just enough to kind of have, enough for that. Um, Zelda's room is pretty, probably pretty bare, other than the fact that a lot of her personal belongings tend to be like personal care products, makeup, like styling stuff, because she takes really good care of her her face and stuff like that, and her style. And then all of it, a lot of it is records, like actual legit like records and DJing equipment and a computer,
Mm-hmm.
where she produces like a lot of her own music and stuff like that for DJing. Um, Other than that, I mean, place has a lot of the basic necessities, like it's probably a lot of it's probably gotten from like Goodwill, but it's not like um in shitty condition or anything like that. They probably got the best they could actually choose at like a Goodwill or something like that. So nothing's like falling apart or anything like that, but it's not new either.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of vodka and probably some kind of beer in the refrigerator outside of the other food groups and drink groups that you could probably find somebody keep uh on hand.
Some festive eggnog.
No, fuck eggnog. Zetta's put her foot down on that. No eggnog, but she does keep some Kool-Aid.
Okay. Is there a room upstairs or downstairs?
Uh, the room would probably be upstairs.
Is that where she's at? Bundled up?
She would probably. I mean, she's probably walking up to the building proper.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the first level. I mean, you walk in. There's like like a foyer,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's probably like um some people's like where the mailboxes are and shit, and then um kind of leads into like a wall, and then there's like the first like occupants like people's housing like somebody else like a different tenant.
Mm-hmm.
Like she like for her you would have to go upstairs at least say the second floor, and then like go back, and then that level was kind of hers. Her
Okay.
and her kin folks. Excuse me.
So yeah, nothing is amiss.
Mm-mm. Are you asking me that?
No, I'm telling you, nothing is amiss.
Oh, well then she will walk up, kind of like pull out her keys, and
Mm-hmm.
start trying to open the door,
Mm-hmm. Nothing happens.
and she'll just say in Russian, because when they're at home, they mostly speak in Russian, or Ukrainian, excuse me. Just she just yells, "Yo, I'm home."
And you get the normal responses.
Hmm.
Nothing is out of sorts.
Yep, and she she basically just asked them like what they do today, stuff like that. She one of the kinfolk, a guy, don't really have a name for him yet, kind of tries to peek in the bag, asking her like, "What's that?" And she just kind of like swats it at him, like, and she just says, "No peeking." Um, and she just asked, did anybody cook anything? Um, and they were just like, "No, we just had sandwiches, whatever, blah blah blah." So Zelda just kind of walks back into her room and puts the stuff away. Kind of takes off her jacket and shit. Kind of hangs it up. She's very very tidy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Puts everything in its place. Um, Even goes about like taking like a brush or like a like a hand towel to her boots to kind of like clean them off. And yeah, kind of goes on about putting on some like uh, different shoes, probably like some slippers, house slippers or something,
Mm-hmm.
and more like looser clothing.
So after a couple of hours, if you settle down a little bit,
Hmm.
where does that happen? What do you do?
Uh, if that's the case, Zoto will probably try to spend some time with her kinfolk. They'll probably go about drinking a little bit, and because it's Christmas Eve, why not? Like
Mm-hmm.
we don't expect anything to happen.
Whoever does.
uh, so she's kind of like kicked up, like heard her kick, have their feet kicked up, uh, up on the coffee table, and they're Probably playing cards or some shit like that. Zelda doesn't really like. She hates card games, but she participates because that's what they like to do. And
So during this bit of merriment and festivities, um, the window in the living room shatters, and a small silver canister lands in the middle of the living room and begins to it bangs really loud and begins to emit a really disgusting gas. Begins to choke everyone out, and simultaneously with this happening, the front door from the front door comes a very loud bang, almost like a battering ram taking down the door, and you hear yelling from the front of the domicile, Homeland Security.
Zelda, is it like a flashbang?
Mm-mm, that's a smoke grenade.
Oh,
Tear
uh,
gas.
oh, Jesus, do I need to roll stamina or anything for this?
No, you don't.
Oh,
But you need
so,
to roll initiative.
oh no. Uh, Seven.
Okay.
See how this is gonna go tonight?
Okay. So you hear it is a whirlwind of noise and yelling and boots thumping as they are moving into your house. You do have a little bit of time before they reach you. What do you do?
Hmm.
Your
How many?
kinfolk are like literally like scrambling away and coughing and choking and tearing up.
Uh, Zelda will not leave her kinfolk. Flat out. If anything, she will try to uh grab the smoke canister and toss it out the window which it was thrown in.
Okay.
Um, and she just says in Russian, um,
So when whenever you reach down and grab the canister, it is very hot to the touch.
mhm,
Sears your hand. Throw it out.
mhm. She probably just cusses and kind of like grabs her wrist, kind of doing that whole clawing motion that you do when you know your hand hurts. Kind of wrings it, and she goes back over to her kinfolk, and she just kind of says in Russian, "Just stay down. Don't make any, moves. Um, even if I, for some reason, have to leave, just don't, be quiet and mostly do what they say. Mostly."
All right. So that's what you're doing.
Hmm. Zelda has curiosity, so I mean, she probably wants to know what's up. I hate to say it. uh, yeah, that's what she's gonna do.
No, there's Chris. Well, that's not very helpful to your cause, unfortunately. Uh, Jacob's response to me.
Oops.
Anyway, so um, whenever the uniformed officers come in, they see forms in the smoke and begin shooting.
Oh, okay.
So,
If that's the case, Zelda will instantly shift into fucking Galabro, grab her kinfolk by the wrist, and say, "Fuck this, we're out."
okay. All right. So, they're going to spray the interior. To Zelda soaked me 4 lethal.
One second.
What was that? Zelda get the hiccups?
Mm-hmm. From the sudden intake of air that she's about to get from all the bullet holes. Okay. Okay.
Oh,
193 to
look at you.
34. Wow. Okay.
So the bullets begin to fly. It's just a spray in the general vicinity of the living room. One like hits you square like in the chest, and you manage to your rapid healing and all that manages to stave off the worst of it. However, your as of yet unnamed male kinfolk is hit and is wounded heavily by the flying bullets.
Okay.
And he sort of just like goes down, like starts trying to scramble away. But
Zelda will spend a why she grabs him will spend a point of gnosis to heal him.
all right, so is that going to be your turn?
Yeah,
There's a lot of guys coming in.
there's not.
There's a lot of guys coming in. It's a SWAT team.
Oh,
There's at least you can sense at least 5 or 6 figures filing in.
okay. Uh, man, the Zelda will then. Zelda, can I roll rage for that?
Yes.
I mean, she can't frenzy, but oh wow, she botches. Uh, okay. Well,
So you feel like you should be angry, but instead you have a sensation of stone cold, crippling fear wash over you.
she just says, "I'm sorry" in Russian, and takes her and the female kind of jump out the window onto the whatchamacallit.
Fire
Uh,
escape.
yeah.
So whenever you jump out, and the smoke is sort of billowing out of the hole after you. It is freezing out here, and when you look down, you see that there is a SWAT van on the street and several uh, cop cruisers uh, undercover. They're not like NYPD marked. They're like the black cars that don't really have any indication,
Mhm.
with like the lights in the on the interior of the windshield.
Mhm.
And there's some guys, some plainclothes guys down, uh, talking into microphones, in their cars, presumably with the SWAT team inside.
Can I have Zelda activate whisper catching?
Yeah. So go ahead and spin willpower. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me just verify. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is just willpower.
Okay.
But let me just make sure, because I'm usually wrong about these things. Ah, Jesus. Come on. Load. Thank you. Uh, Spirit catching. Yeah, willpower.
Okay.
That's it. There's no roll.
So your ears become sharply attuned, and you hear them talking about uh, don't take any, or don't kill anyone but the target. That 5 million is going to be ours, boys.
Um, she just quickly tries to relay the situation to uh, the woman she has in hand.
Mhm.
Um, she's kind of looking around as she does so, looking for because there's a cop car right under us, right? Or is it out by the street, not in the alleyway?
That's around the side. Um, Basically, you see that from where you are down the alley.
Okay. You said there's a foot of snow.
Yeah,
Zelda's gonna take homegirl into her arms and jump off the side of the.
fire escape.
Yep.
Okay. And soak me too lethal as you land on the street, the alley beneath you.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem. So far the adrenaline has been carrying you very well, um, and you see flashlight beams sort of moving from the apartment upstairs, or the room upstairs, and you hear a lot of yelling, and you get the sense that they are cuffing your wounded kinfolk. Meanwhile, as you jump down with your other kinfolk in hand, um, you see a couple of uh, officers round the corner and yell and point at you and level uh, their weapons at you.
Okay. Uh, Zelda is going to kind of, I guess, are they in front of me or behind me?
They're at the mouth of the street, So in front
Okay,
of, behind doesn't really matter.
there's no. This is the only way out.
It goes all the way through. There are multiple ways out, two ways out.
Okay, she's gonna go. She's gonna keep her back to them
Hmm.
and shield her kinfolk. Like she's still holding on to her, kind of like when she sees that, like she kind of just instantly turns and runs the other way, and kind of like bundles her kinfolk up into her chest
Okay.
as much as she can.
Fire two shots at you. And so need one lethal from the first.
Nope.
You don't.
She takes
The
one. She takes
ones
one
don't
hit.
take away
Oh really? Oh
from
fuck!
soap.
I keep forgetting that. Whew. Thank God.
Second shot, a little bit better. So two.
Yep.
Yeah. So bullets just keep grazing you as you begin running down the alleyway. You see if you look over your shoulder, you see one of the SWAT team members climbing out the window, looking in your direction, leveling his uh, assault weapon in your direction. But you are able to turn a corner.
Okay. Um.
They are going to give chase.
Gotcha. Um. She's going to, cause it's nighttime, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's snowing.
Yes.
She's going to activate shadow weaving as well.
Okay.
Um, just so she could kind of use the obscurance as well. So that's a perception. Oh, dexterity cult. So how much do you get? And I think it's two. As Glabra.
What now? Stamina?
Oh, no dex. Okay.
Yeah.
So 5d10. Diff 7. She botches, so she doesn't activate it.
Things are going from bad to worse.
Yep. She just starts running. Maybe even like trying to even do that weird like hop running, when you're trying to like be springy and like get
Mm-hmm.
the most out of your stride. Like she's trying to do that and stuff.
So whenever you make it to the end of the alleyway, you see one of the black cruisers sort of spinning out in the snow as it comes around the corner. Um, the back end sort of fishtailing as it's trying to kind of plow through the snow in your general direction. And you hear the shouting coming from behind you. But there are headlights blaring in your face.
um, she kind of blinks for a second, almost stunned, just because they're probably those fucking disrespectful LED lights that
Mm-hmm.
are just a pain in the ass. Fuck you. Fuck anybody who has those. Um, and she's gonna make her way. She's gonna look for like the nearest like subway. Uh, uh, like the stairs that lead into the subway.
Okay.
She's gonna look for one of those. Once she starts getting into the more public area, like um, she will revert into
So here's the thing: while you're out here, it is
mm,
the weather is beating down on you. Um, you can't really see anything past like 30 feet in front of you. It is an absolute mess. Very poor visibility. Um, when you look around, you sort of know where you are, um, but you're gonna have to like run to the nearest like subway station. Like even though it's close, it's still trudging through a lot of snow, and you're not sure you're gonna be able to beat a car,
mm, okay. Um,
especially holding a kinfolk.
yeah. So Zelda.
Don't really have a lot of time to think. Car's coming.
She'll start running again.
So you're just gonna run away from the car?
No, you know what? No, she's gonna drop her kinfolk and head over towards the vehicle. Um, and she's gonna shift into Krenos.
Okay. I need to look at something real fast. Excuse me.
Oh fuck, they have cameras. Never mind. On cars.
I mean, are you thinking about that right now?
Hmm. Anyways, I'm hoping kind of the delirium just kind of takes them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you shift up into Krynos as you run towards this squad car, and it's going to ram you. Let's see. Or try to, anyway. Okay. So whenever you shift into Krynos, the car speeds up and then swerves and rams into a light pole nearby.
Hmm. Good. Uh, Zelda uh will shift down into Glabro. Uh, and then
Are you spending rage for this, or are you rolling?
she has Metamorph.
Oh yeah, you're right. Look at you with your 7 point merit.
It's the best 7 point merit I ever spent. Um, go back and grab her kinfolk and start pulling her towards. She's gonna try to look for one. Like she at least wants to get her kinfolk down in a public place like that. For herself, not so much.
Okay. So during all this, when you grab your kinfolk, the two cops are going to turn the corner and begin firing again. Hits with 1. Soak me 2.
Nope.
That one hits and it hurts. And the other one. Ooh. So that one's going to be this many. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. Soak me 4. Lethal.
Nope. 2. So she takes what? She's at what? She took 4
3.
damage.
It's only 3. You
Oh.
soaked everything so far, I think.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, two of the plainclothes bullets hit you. Your kinfolk begs for you to just go.
Zelda kind of does this flinching thing as she's hit and she hears that. And is there a nearby alley somewhere?
And the one they're coming out of.
Is there a like a residence or anything nearby?
Oh, there are plenty. They're on the street.
She's gonna look for one that that looks like it might be open, at least nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as long as she can kind of get out of sight, and it doesn't look like there's anybody in it, like one that has windows or she can see it like immediately like into the foyer or something. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And as long as she can get in and kind of get out of sight for at least a second, she's gonna spend a gnosis to switch over.
Okay. Yeah. So you run and are you like trying to get into the building itself?
I mean, just enough to get inside so
Mm-hmm.
that maybe they think like she might have just got into one of the buildings or anything, but just enough to get out of sight of. Oh wait, can they see me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just enough to get out of sight for just a second.
Well, so the easiest way to do that is to go through a window the
Okay,
hard way.
okay. Oh no, Zona has bad luck with windows and jumping into them.
And roll me
uh,
Dex Athletics.
oh no. Dex athletics. She doesn't have athletics, so just the 3. Nope. I told you. She fucking.
So it's one of those deals where like the stairs come off of the sidewalk in to the front door, but like underneath like the windows is like the basement area where it like goes down underneath. You know what I'm saying? So like you try to like hop the fence and jump through the window like to clear that gap, and you just like eat shit on the ledge of the building and fall on your back in the snow in the little basement like walkway.
Fuck it. She'll. she, she's just been no supposed to cross over like that. Fuck it. I mean, if she's in the little basement walkway, like whatever, man. Yeah. That's what she'll do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you enter into the Umbra, and immediately the snow sort of vanishes around you, and you are welcomed by the sight of all of the spiritual um, normalities that you're used to in the side of the Umbra and that huge starry sky overhead. But it's still very cold. That hadn't changed at all.
Zelda just kind of rolls to her side and just kind of like bundles up like in a fucking fetal position for a second, like up against the wall, just like and she kind of collects her pride for a second, having not being able to go through the window a second time. Uh, well, at least, well, not the second time, but at least not like she wanted, anyways. And she uh, well, she will get up and probably uh start making her way to the sept.
So as you begin making your way in the direction that you know the sept to be in, um, you come to a particularly old section of the city um, that has a few more spiritual reflections than other places in the city, where the buildings are particularly old on the way. And as you make your way, a very loud and unfamiliar sound cracks the air around you. It sounds like a gunshot, which is very unfamiliar in the Umbra. And a bullet hits the ground next to you.
Zelda instantly goes up into Krinos and like snarls and looks around to see where that shot came from.
Okay. Make me a perception firearms check.
So just perception. Okay.
Okay.
3/8.
So you might not be very skilled at sort of retroactively like figuring out trajectories of bullets and such, but you are very good at noticing things and seeing things, and you see in the distance at a higher elevation, maybe on top of one of these buildings, the briefest glint of a scope in the night.
Oh no.
And you hear a very confident voice yell out, "Better run, shitheel! At least make it fun. That 5 mil is going to be mine."
uh, yeah. God damn it. Goddamn curiosity.
You don't have that much time to think. What's the plan?
Hmm. She runs towards them.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man. Curiosity, man. Fuck it.
All right.
I took the goddamn fall for a reason.
Okay. He is going to rechamber and take a shot. Two successes.
Oh shit, I forgot I was already damaged. Oh me. Okay. Totally forgot about that part. Oh no.
Oh no. Soak me 1, 2, 3.
Okay. No, she does. All, all of it. Oh, I forgot about that.
Well, it is your turn. It's stamina survival.
Hmm. Okay.
Look at that mate trying to help you.
I got one success, so I healed one of that. I took what, 3 so far or 4?
You've taken 3,
Okay.
so you're down to 2.
Injured.
However, it is going to take you a couple turns to get to where this shooter is. And that's just getting to the place he is, not up to him.
Okay. Well, I guess hearing the loud sound of that fucking gun, and yeah, she'll take that, and even though she soaked it, like she knows she's not really a fighter, so I think that's enough for her curiosity, and she will start running on all fours like Krenos, like hand over legs type thing, like uh probably in a zigzag pattern as she does so.
Are you still running towards this person?
No, she's running to get like
No, you don't
out
have
the
to.
way.
You don't have to go too far to find cover.
Okay, well then yeah, she'll find cover, and then if there's a way out that way, that's where she'll go. She's gonna try to put buildings in between him and her,
Okay.
or whoever they are.
Do you happen to have tactics?
No.
Okay. And roll me an intelligence check.
Would problem solver come into play?
Sure.
2.
Okay.
Ow. My toe. Ow.
Okay. So you begin to try and make your way through this uh, penumbral maze of buildings, and um, you're being very uh, well. At least you think you're being very elusive in so doing, and eventually you're fairly confident that that you have at least eluded the sniper.
Mhm. Um. She's still. I mean, with the kind of night she's been having, she's still gonna try to do the same thing, but kind of make her way towards the step,
Okay.
regardless.
All right. So, on your way to the set, go ahead and roll me a uh, dexterity stealth check. That's pretty good. 2 successes.
Hmm.
All right. So eventually, you make your way to the Bawn of the Sept, having not encountered your bounty hunter.
Yeah, she'll step onto it and probably let a guardian know what's going on
Mm-hmm.
and to inform the warder and probably find some place to sit down for a minute. And
And
yeah.
so, having survived her little Christmas gift, I think we can end the scene there with Zelda pondering the fate of her poor kinfolk. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Good night.